السلام عليكم.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت سيدنا محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة وجعلك ربي الله سبحانه وتعالى. رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونتوب إليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار والعياذ بالله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. Last khutbah we were talking about some verses approaching the concept of fasting, and we were in the second verse talking about fasting in Surat Al-Baqarah, which is 184, and today inshallah we'll approach 185. Allah says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان فليستجيبوا لي وليؤمنوا بي لعلهم يرشدون. Allah says, if my worshippers are asking you about me, tell them I am very close to them to respond to their supplication. But they must respond to me and believe in me. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ, that they will reach the highest level of irshad, highest level of righteousness. After talking about fasting, as I said, verse 183 and verse 184, he will talk about the worshippers. And he's saying, if my worshippers are asking you about me, and again, I like to emphasize again and again that the translation of servant or slaves in the book in English is wrong, and I keep saying it all the time. And some brothers who didn't get it until now, because 3 khutbas before, one of the brothers came to me outside there and he didn't get it, and he was asking me what the difference between slaves and worshippers. And I told him again, all creatures are slaves to Allah because He created them, He owns them, He controls them. So all of them, they are equal in this. All creatures, not just mankind. You understand what I'm saying? All creatures, they are slaves to Allah because He created them. But all these creatures, they don't give nothing to Allah. Because we know slave, he has to work for his master. In the case of Allah, your master is working for you. You are not giving him nothing. In this concept of slavery, all people are equal. All people are equal because all of them, they are created by Allah. All of them, they are controlled by Allah. All of them, they are provided by Allah. All of them, they are under the power of Allah and the ability of Allah. Allah owns them. They belong to Him. So all of them, they are equal in this. In this type of slavery, all of them, they are equal. There is no difference between X and Y and Z in this case. Meaning, being slave in this case doesn't make any difference. Doesn't make you any, doesn't give you any qualification. Because you are like anybody else. Right? No. When Allah is talking about ibad, He is not talking about his slaves. Because being a slave of Allah is not a choice. It's not an option. You are that. Regardless you like it, you don't like it. And doesn't give you any qualification. Right? But Allah, when He is talking to His worshippers. Those who are worshipping Him by their own will. They come to Him by their own will. He is talking to these people. And these are not just slaves. They are slave plus. Plus what? Plus worshippers. Because they are coming to Him by obeying His commands. There are some other slaves, they are not obeying anything. They don't even believe in Him. But doesn't mean they are not His slaves. They are His slaves. Whether they like it, they don't like it, they believe in Him, they don't believe in Him, it doesn't matter. They didn't create themselves. Nor they create their parents. Nor they created the earth where they are born. Nor they create the oxygen they are breathing. Nor they create the water they are using and food. I feel sorry that they didn't get it. But it doesn't matter, it's up to them. So being slave doesn't give you any qualification. Because everybody is a slave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it. So when Allah is talking to the ibad, He is talking to His worshippers. Those who are coming to him by their own will, obeying his commands, believing in him, trusting him, asking him by supplications, believing in the day of judgment, believing in the hereafter. These are the worshippers that he is talking to. There are just 5 verses talking about the slaves. 5 in the whole Quran. 5 verses in the whole Quran talking about slaves. And all the 5 verses are in 5 different surahs. They are not in the same surah. And all of them, they are saying that the meaning of all of them is the same. They are saying that Allah is saying, وَمَا اللَّهُ بِضَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ وَمَا اللَّهُ بِضَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ وَمَا اللَّهُ بِضَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. And some verses says, وَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِضَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. Both same meaning. لَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِضَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ وَمَا اللَّهُ بِضَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ. Both are the same, with the same meaning in different 5 surahs with different 5 verses. And this is the meaning of it. Allah said that He is not offending any of His slaves. He is not offending any of His slaves. So He brought this in the matter of justice. Meaning that He said, I am just to all my creatures. In another way you explain it, that's very easy. I am just to all my creatures. Because all these creatures are His slaves. Regardless, they believe, they don't believe, it doesn't matter. This one won't change nothing from the truth. So, He is saying that I am not offending my slaves. Meaning all of them. Those who believe, those who doesn't believe, those who are complying, obeying, those who doesn't obey. Doesn't matter. He said, I am just for all of them. This is the only verses that He brought Abid as the meaning of slave. That's the only one. When He was talking about justice by saying that He is fair with all His slaves. Meaning all creatures, included mankind. Regardless they believe in Him or they don't believe in Him, still He is just with them. That's the only one you can translate the word Abid as a slave. Because Abid, this is the meaning of it, is a slave. But Ibad, it doesn't mean slave. That's the confusion. The confusion of the interpreters. The confusion came from the singular of Abid, slaves. And the singular of Ibad is the same. One more time. The confusion for the translation came from because the singular of Abid, slaves, and Ibad, worshippers, is the same, which is Abd. Abd is the singular for both of them. But you need to look at the context to know this Abd mean slave or this Abd mean worshipper. The context is the one who will define for you. Okay, so in this case we are talking about in this surah, Surah Al-Baqarah, which is surah number 2 and verse 185, Allah said, if my worshippers, not everybody, if my worshippers are asking you about me, tell them I am very close to them. And He didn't say tell, I'm sorry, because I added myself, tell, He didn't say it. All questions that the companion they were asking the Prophet by asking, Allah used to tell him, tell them, tell them, tell them. In this case, He didn't say tell them. To tell you that He is very close, more closer than the time to say tell them. So He took off tell from the verse by saying that He is very close, more than the time to say tell. It's the only case that He didn't say tell them. If my worshippers are asking you about me, I am close, I am near. There is no tell in between. All other cases, if they ask you about something, He will say, if they ask you about this and this and this, for example, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْمَحِيضِ وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْمَحِيضِ قُلْ هُوَ أَذًى. They will ask you about the periods of the ladies' menses. Tell them it can cause diseases. Tell them. But that's the main point. He said, call, tell. وَيَسْأَلُكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ. They will ask you about the crescent and its position. قُلْ هُوَ مَوَاقِتُ لِلنَّاسِ. Say to them, it will define for you the time, during night time, the beginning of the month, and so on. Tell. Always he said, tell. When it comes to him talking about himself, he didn't say tell me. When my worshippers are asking you about me, I am near, very close there. No tell. SubhanAllah, to tell you is so close. Well, this worshipper, they can ask him about what? What type of supplication that the worshippers are expecting from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asking? You put them, please turn off your phone. You put them all together, anyone who is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking for something good for him. Whatever what he is asking in his intention, in his heart intention, what he is asking is something good for him. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us very important thing. That good you are intending, who should define it that is good or not? You or Allah? That good you are asking about, or asking for, that good, who should define it? Is it good for you or not? You or Allah? Or someone in this country, they like the luxury cars, and someone can say, Ya Allah, please help me to have a Porsche or Lamborghini for my son. Ya Allah. He thought that is good for him and good for his son. But Allah knew the future. He knew the future. Maybe that Lamborghini will be the end for your son. You don't know, but Allah knows if he responds to you in this and you get that Lamborghini, give it to your son, the same day he will leave. Finish. Crash with something, speeding, and go. Will not respond to you. It doesn't mean he didn't respond. He didn't respond to you. He responded to you by preventing you from the foolish dua. Because you don't know. And just maybe 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, someone bought, I saw it in the news, Yahoo News. Someone bought a very strong car, this sport car. I don't memorize the names, but I know it is said it costs $70,000. $70,000. I don't know which type, but it's very strong car. And they say, why they are bringing in the news anyway? The same day he bought it, the same day it is just demolished. Demolished. I saw the picture. It's just, I was surprised, or I was astonished about something else in the news. They are asking about the car, but they didn't ask about the driver. That was making me astonished. I look at the car, the way I look at it, I am certain in my mind that driver is not alive. There is no way he can be alive. Allah knows best, maybe he is alive. But just my point here, people, they look at the money, they don't, the car is more important for them than the one who was driving. Wallahi, they didn't say no idea about the driver, and they was worried about the driver. I said, who cares about $70,000? He may bring him a gun, he may be rich. What about him? Tell me what about him. Is he alive? Is he in hospital? What's wrong? No idea. The reporter is just scared about $70,000 are gone. Allahu Akbar. To tell you, the people, they have no more value. They have more money as value. Who cares? Astaghfirullah al-Azim. Wallahi, this hurts me a lot. Wallahi. Because this is the mentality of people who are living with today. And that's why we are in trouble all the time. Because this is the mentality of people. Now, no more values to mankind at all. Money. So, back to the dua in this 185, the verse 185, when Allah said, if my worshippers are asking you about me, I am very near, because they are asking, they need to know how to deal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because they are in need. They are in need of things, and they like to ask Him, and they like to get what they need. So, we agreed that all what they are asking is good. For in their mind, that's good. But Allah subhanahu knows that if it's good for you or not.